Hi guys, welcome to the Unsilent G. As promised, I am starting a new series tackling racism in healthcare, which is titled Black Lives Healthcare Matters. And today with me, I have my good friend Esther,
Hey.
who is also a sickle cell warrior. I know people say such
Oh.
cheesy things. I'm like, she's a sickler, you know.
Oh my
How are
gosh.
you, girl?
Oh, girl, I'm not too bad. Thanks for having me on your channel. Oh
I
my
mean,
gosh.
when I first started this channel, I always knew I was gonna have you on it, but I didn't know it'd be like
Yeah.
this. But it's
Yeah.
okay. We adapt. We adapt.
Yeah, for sure, man. No, I'm so excited because I don't know, like what you said, I haven't come across many people like like where you can just talk about this having sickle cell, living with sickle cell. But yeah, hey guys, my name's Esther. I'm 28 years old and currently I work for myself. So I was working for a company. Hopefully soon I can have my own fashion brand. Uh, but before I was working in healthcare, I worked there for like 2 years. Later on, I had to leave because my health was just getting a bit mad, and that job was a bit stressful for my health.
You were
So
working mad hours.
listen, I was doing the most. I was doing the most. Maria even had to tell me, she was like, "Yo, listen, you need to. I don't know what you need to do, but you need to leave that job."
I said, you
So
need to, girl. I said, how many hours? No, that's not cute.
listen, and I was
She was
like,
in the hospital bed, like, "Oh, I need to get back to work." I said, girl,
honestly,
no.
I look back and I think, what was wrong with me? Like, what? But anyways, I left that job. Now I'm obviously doing something I really love doing, and yeah.
And what is it that you're doing?
Okay, so I was working for a fashion company. They basically help start up brands. So, for example, if you want to start if you want to start a new fashion brand, we help you with the steps from production, processing, all the way to the final product. So I was part of research. So I was doing a lot of research, like finding manufacturers. That was my main job. So I did that for like a year and a bit. I'm still like freelancing at the moment, but currently I'm just working on my own thing. So hopefully, guys need to look out for the
Yes.
scene.
And we met, okay, I'm gonna try and get this right because I am the
You remember?
worst with figuring things out. I think it was like, is it like 5 years ago?
Is it 5 years?
I think it's 5 years ago.
No. Is that
Yeah,
what? Wow,
yeah.
time goes quick. In my head, I'm
Oh,
thinking it's like 3 years. No.
no,
Actually,
no. Because think
what?
about it. Think about how long ago that crisis you had was.
It was end of 2016, like
Yes.
November, December, around that time,
And we knew each
2016.
other before that.
Yeah, we did actually.
So,
Yeah, it is five
girl, do the
years.
math.
What? Okay, okay.
So just to give you guys a bit of background, we met at church. We were going to the same small group, connect group, which is basically like Bible study.
Yeah,
And I remember our friend who was like the leader of one of the leaders of the group at the time
yeah.
was like, she called me up and she was like, is it all right if I tell Esther that you have sickle cell? I was like, yeah, but why? She's like, she's got sickle cell. She's not doing really well right now. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, for sure. Tell her, give her my number, da 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 da.
Yeah.
And I call up. I'm like, hey, girl, I heard you got sickle cell. Da, 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 da. At that point, everything wasn't as bad as it got.
Yeah,
Jumped to, I think it was like a month or two later,
yeah.
after like we already been talking,
Hmm.
girl. Ooh, y'all have heard me talk about my crisis, and I promise I will post those videos after we finish with this series. But
Oh boy.
this crisis, look at this girl. She vibrant. She got a little
Oh.
flesh on her cheeks or whatever.
Uh,
When I tell you, I came to visit Esther in hospital because I know what it's like, and I wanted to send you some
yeah.
food. I think I got you some like Chinese or something
Yeah, you
because
did. Oh
hospital
my
food
God.
is
I was like, oh my God. Do you know when you brought that Chinese? I was so happy because that food is poison. Like, guys, I can't, I'm not even exaggerating. That is not, that
no, I
hospital
don't
food is
want you to
not
be
the
better.
one. It's not the one.
And so, and you were so skinty, you were so frail,
Yeah.
um, and I think the worst thing about seeing you like that was the
Mm,
knowledge that it didn't have to get to that point.
yeah.
And that's what we're going to really talk about today is
Mm,
how the systemic racism and the institutionalized racism really does affect the healthcare that Black women receive,
yeah.
whether it's down to not acknowledging our pain, not believing our pain,
Yeah.
rating or ranking our pain as less because
Mhm.
maybe we're not showing it in the way other people do.
Yeah.
Because we have even indoctrinated this mentality of strong Black woman. I don't know how many times I've been on the maddest pain scale, and I'm not even crying. I'm just like,
Yeah. You're literally like, and then, like people ask, are you in pain? You're like,
hmm.
you don't look like you're in pain. Listen.
I'm like, oh, what does pain look like? You tell me, because this is the face of pain.
Yeah.
And you just like, if you are crying, it's because you have the energy to cry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm more likely to cry because I stubbed my toe.
Yeah.
The little toe,
Yeah.
stub it,
Yeah.
and you're just like,
You're like trying to
and
hold it in.
tears just start rolling down. You just think, oh my days.
Like,
But sickle pain as well. If you are, I think people don't understand. This is something that doesn't happen at just
yeah.
some random point in your life. It's something that you've become accustomed to
Yeah.
throughout your life.
Yeah.
And the way that that can affect you means that you've always had a relationship with pain. And I think it definitely
Right.
impacts the way that we then share our pain to professionals.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who has a chronic health condition or chronic pain issue, or anyone who's been in pain and gone to the hospital will know the phrase, what is your pain on a scale of 1 to 10?
Listen, that every single time I hear that, I just don't even know what. It's been asked so much that you just think, here we go again.
I'm
Where
like,
do I
what is a
even?
number?
Yeah, I don't know what you want me to say. Like if I say 5, you're gonna think it's not that bad, but a 5 to me might be a 10 to you.
Yes.
That's the thing, and it's just explaining my pain has always been a problem. So even my mom would be like, you need to over exaggerate, even though I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know. So I would have to over exaggerate all the time so that they take me. Even then, they wouldn't even take me seriously.
Yeah.
So
So that time that you were admitted into hospital, how did
yeah.
it how did it start? Like when did you go into A&E?
Mm. So usually, I think like every sickler can relate to this. When the crisis starts, I know my parents will be like, you need to go to hospital, but because I hate the hospital, I'm like, I ain't going until it's serious. And that's how I usually do it. I like take my tramadol, take my morphine at home, take my water, and
Come on,
then
pharmacy.
I got whole collection.
Oh yes.
Like,
Chap queen.
yeah, literally do like self-medicate until I'm very sure that okay, I can't do it at home. I need to go into hospital. But that day, yeah, when I say I was literally sleeping, I was in bed getting ready to go to bed, and all of a sudden I start feeling pain from my neck, and I got up straight away. I was like, oh my god, I'm getting crisis pains, but it was literally just here. Then as soon as I stood up, it was like a flood of water. It was like someone poured water on me. The pain went from here all the way to my toes, and I was like,
Wave after wave.
wave. In that point, I was like, what is this? I've never felt this before.
Yeah.
You know, like you know all your pains. You know, like oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool. This is the back. This is my leg.
Roger, Vanessa,
Yeah,
Francesca, like we, you know them,
yeah.
like, hey
We all
girl.
have pains. So this time I was like, I don't know what this is,
Hmm.
but I need to go to hospital. Like, and even the fact I was like, mom, I was calling my mom, I was calling my brothers. They were like, what's going, what's going? I was like, I need to go to hospital now. They were like looking at me. They were like, you don't do this normally. You just chill for a
Permit.
bit. Like, I need to go now because this pain is different. I don't know what it is, but it's different. So the ambulance came probably 40 minutes later. Bear in mind, yeah, St. Helen Hospital is right close to where I live. So I was thinking, why are they taking long? Anyways, they come. I was in the ambulance. Everything was fine. They gave me morphine. Then I went to Annie.
Can
Annie,
I
they
ask
gave,
you, did the paramedics know what sickle cell was?
yeah, they did. Wait, yeah, they did. They did. Usually the paramedics that take me in, they know what it is
Yeah,
because I,
I
I
found
told them,
that paramedics, shout out to paramedics in the NHS.
yeah,
My experience with
yeah,
paramedics has always been that they stay woke, they stay clued up, and
yeah,
they are aware of the average sickle celler will do to deal with pain. They're
yeah,
very communicative and very willing to try and understand that even though they can't see it, that your pain is real,
yeah,
and they're trying to get your pain under control so they can transport you without you
yeah.
just being, suffering or
Mm-hmm.
suffering in silence. And I just have to say,
Yeah,
shout out to the paramedics because
100%.
they're at the front line of our pain, and they
Yeah,
and they handle it really, really well.
very well. Yeah, they do. So I was in the ambulance. They gave me gas and air. Like they did everything that they like. I told them I needed morphine. They gave me morphine,
Yes.
and as soon as I got to A&E, it was okay. Like they gave me what's called intravenous morphine, which is like morphine straight into your veins. The
Chef's
best. Oh, listen,
Ooh,
just thinking about it is giving me chills.
ooh. So it's like a double-edged sword though, because it does make you feel better, but I've always noticed before it makes you feel better, it makes you
Yeah,
feel all the pain that you're in.
yeah.
Like, and it's like, hey, these are all the things I'm gonna target. Just to let
Mm-hmm.
you know, we've got pain in section A, section
Yeah,
2C, and da da da. And you're like, oh, 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 I didn't even know it's this pain because that pain was so
yeah.
loud. Da, 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 and then it's like, mm,
And then you knocked out, yes. You're like, oh, the best feeling. I can't even lie.
like, ask me
Anyway,
anything. How is my pain? I don't know. How is yours?
listen, it's the best. I can't lie, man. So, anyways, Annie went well. This is when everything went left. Yeah. So before they take you to the hematology ward, is usually like where sickers are usually admitted. I don't know how it is in other hospitals, but I'm always admitted in the hematology ward.
Yeah, because
So,
hematology is the study or the department of blood, anything to do with the blood. So they deal with like leukemia, blood cancers, and things like that, and as well sickle cell.
yeah, yeah. So I got transported to the AMU. AMU is like a holding ward before they find a bed in your actual ward. I was there for I remember the time. I think it was like 3 a.m. I'd come in around 12 in the morning,
Yeah.
and they finally found me a bed at 3 a.m. So I was in AMU, and in AMU they don't give you. I don't know how it is in other hospitals, but for me personally, from all my experiences, they never give you intravenous morphine. They give you oral morphine. Oral morphine does nothing. When I say it does nothing, it does. It's just like drinking water. Imagine you're in
Yeah.
pain. Instead of drinking paracetamol, you take water. That's
Hmm.
exactly. So, anyways, I was in there for 8 hours in pain. I was crying. I was like, I need you guys to get a doctor because this
Yeah.
pain is a lot. They gave me morphine. After an hour, they were like, we can't give you any more. I was like, listen, that morphine did not do nothing. I'm in pain. I was crying. I was, like when you don't have any more energy to cry and scream, to the point where I would get knocked out, wake up and wish to be knocked out again because of how bad the pain was. Anyways, the doctors came at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Bear in mind, I got there at 3 a.m. I was around 8 hours in pain. And the doctors themselves even said that nobody told us anything. They didn't tell us you were here. They should have told us. In that moment, I was done, man. I had no energy. Like my body, I didn't even know who I was. So they moved me to the hematology ward, and I was there for a few hours. Then next minute, they're booking X-rays, they're booking CT. CT scan is like where it's that big. You like get in, and I've never been in one of them before. I knew this time it was different because I was thinking, why? They never give me a CT scan. So I went in there. I didn't even have energy to ask them any questions because I was done by that time. Yeah. They put me into the CT scan. Then within an hour, they took me back to my ward. They were like, we need to take you to ICU. This is my first, I've heard about ICU because I was working in a hospital at that time. Yeah. So I was thinking ICU is not a good thing because it's serious. I got there, and the first few hours, I was on, you know, you have the nostril oxygen masks, right? And then you have the ones that they put you on when you're in the ambulance. This mask here, I'd never come across it. Like, it was one of those suction masks. I couldn't even take it off myself. And I think it pumps in about 40 to 60% of oxygen. And I wasn't, by the morning, I wasn't better. And I woke up and there was like 10 doctors, nurses in my room. And I was thinking, good God. That's when I messaged in the group chat. I was like, oh, guys, I need prayers. But I didn't say that I had sickle cell, obviously.
It was crazy. By the time I came to see you, you know, they had basically were concerned about organ failure. And things shutting down. And the reality is had she been seen quicker and assessed quicker, it wouldn't have got to that point. Because basically when she's gone to A&E, and that morphine will wear off within 2 hours, right? The effects of that will wear off within 2 hours. The AMU is the acute medical unit, or some places call it a medical assessment unit, where they're just supposed to be like a limbo area where they assess you, and if it's a minor thing, they can just treat you and move on. You can move on. It's a midpoint. But obviously you were there for hours on end. Without anyone understanding the seriousness of what you're experiencing. So I think the key issue is that you were in AMU and no one there understood or had the knowledge of sickle cell. Number one. Number two, took your pain as real enough to be treated in a different way, because you can get morphine injections, and you can get intravenous paracetamol in AMU. You can receive all those kind of things in that area. Then to get to the point where they now have to admit you into intensive care unit, which is the ICU. It's gone so past, they're worried about your chance of survival. That's the level it had gotten to. And I think what people maybe are not understanding is it's not just pain, but it means that because the pain is caused by a lack of oxygen being circulated through your body. So not only was she in 8 hours of excruciating pain, which if you're in pain for ages, it makes you weaker because your body is getting worn down by having to deal with the excruciating pain, right? And having to deal with it all. But then also it's 8 hours of her body being deprived of the oxygen, of the nutrients it needs, of her white cells being attacked, because her body's in shock mode, thinking, what's going on? Attack. Because like she said, it's the pain that she doesn't recognize. So it's all happening. So if you're thinking about all the things that need blood, that's your kidneys, that's your brain, that's your lungs, those are all the things that need blood, and all the things that depend on oxygen to function correctly. So that 8 hours was crucial and fundamental for the reason why her condition got to the level it did. And you were literally on the brink you were literally on the brink where they were like, you know, really
They
looking
were,
at me like, girl.
they
I'm
were
not
like,
even family, but they were looking at me like, girl.
we need to put you to sleep now. I was like,
They had to put her.
I was
Yo,
like, what?
that's so crazy.
I was like, what's that? It was That's how I knew this went left
It went so
because
left. It went so left. And
so left.
the cause of that is the underlying cause of that is a lack of care. You
Yeah,
know, it's neglect within the
it
healthcare
is.
system. And
Yeah,
you have to think about it in two ways. Why is it that
mm,
paramedics are more informed of the severity of sickle cell as a disorder?
yeah,
Nurses and on-call doctors in the AMU aren't, to the point where they
yeah,
would be like, you know what, we need to call the on-call hematology doctor
mm-hmm,
immediately, because they are
yeah,
definitely on staff and in the
mm-hmm,
A&E, instead of waiting for the ward doctor to make their
yeah.
rounds. You know,
Oh,
there's a difference. So
yeah,
it's about them not recognizing um, the severity and the seriousness, or even maybe having knowledge point blank on
yeah,
sickle cell. And I
yeah,
think if we're really going to get into it, which this is what the series is about, guys,
yeah,
sickle cell has long been regarded as um, a disease that only affects Black people or
yeah.
ethnic minorities.
Mm-hmm.
And I want y'all to think about some of the rarest diseases you know about that have had Instagram or viral trends.
Mm-hmm.
So we have things like um, cystic fibrosis.
Yeah,
And I'm going to be honest, okay? As much as I know about cystic fibrosis, I've seen bare films about this.
yeah,
I
yeah,
feel like every 2 years they make a teen hospital drama, like
yeah. They
romance,
do.
on cystic fibrosis.
They do. Yeah,
And I know that it's important, but 100%, this is actually a rare disease.
it is.
It's actually a rare disease.
Yeah,
And it's estimated that 1 in every 25 people in the UK are carriers of cystic fibrosis. Cystic fibrosis, they're just carriers,
yeah,
and it's only that 1 in 4 chance, if both parents are carriers, it's 1 in 4 chance that their child will inherit a faulty gene from one parent and be a carrier,
yeah,
and 1 in 4 chance that the child will inherit faulty gene from both parents and have the full-blown cystic fibrosis.
yeah.
So that's just showing you how rare it is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and because it's something that's considered
It's
white
a
lives matter.
Yeah, they do matter, but because it's a it
It's
affects white
because
people as
they,
well.
it affects white people.
Yeah,
Obviously, it does affect people of color, but it actually affects
yeah,
white people
white
more.
people. Yeah.
It's more of their situation.
Yeah.
That it has had so much exposure, so much awareness, so much funding and research. And
Mhm.
that's what really gets things forward, is funding
Yeah.
and research. Um, and then we want to compare it to something like sickle cell, which
Yeah.
for years I thought it was something that, I could, it's only because I'm Black.
Do you know what's crazy? Yeah, I didn't realize that it was because I'm black. Maybe because I live in a white area. I just thought they just didn't know. And then later on, I started getting awareness of how I was being treated compared
Yeah.
to other people in the hospital. Then I realized, yeah, it's because I'm black.
Yeah. And I think the comparison is, again, if both parents have the gene, there's a
Hmm.
1 in 4 chance of each child they have being born with sickle cell disease. So it's the same, what's it called, chance of getting it if your parents have the gene.
Yeah.
Now let's look into how many people actually get it. Like how many people get the are likely to be carriers or likely to have it.
Yeah.
It's estimated that there are between 12,500 and 15,000 people with sickle cell disease in the UK alone.
Yeah.
Now, to me, that's a hell of a lot of people.
A lot, yeah.
And um, I think a lot of the issues is that because people think it's something that's just going to affect people of color, it doesn't
Yeah.
get the same attention. It doesn't get the same recognition. It doesn't get the same
Yeah.
awareness. But the truth is, it can affect people of any race.
Yeah.
White
A
people can get it.
Mediterranean.
Mediterranean people can get it. Honey, if you're
Yeah.
on this earth, you can get it.
You can, yeah.
I've noticed over the years that it's definitely been getting um, more attention
Mm-hmm.
because um, of the way the world has become more mixed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I think that's definitely had a big impact. You know, they say that approximately 350 babies with sickle cell disease are born in the UK every year. And that's been the case forever.
Yeah.
Sickle cell is not something that is new. It's
Yeah,
been
no.
about.
Yeah.
So I think the question comes, why is it not got the same kind of um,
Exposure.
exposure and
Yeah.
research gone into it? It's
Yeah.
something that affects so many people. It's something that's the cause of, and I think a lot of people don't, maybe even I don't like to accept the severity of the condition. That
Yeah. It's serious.
This
Like
is
it's
something that can kill you. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
I think that's a coping mechanism that you just it's
100%.
perfect because you don't want to think that, oh, this is so serious that it can kill me. You don't.
So I want to take it back to my comparison of cystic fibrosis.
Mm.
This around 10,500 people in the UK have cystic fibrosis.
Yeah.
So as you can see, that's a lot less
Yeah.
than those who have sickle cell.
Yeah.
So clearly, it's not something that's a minority issue because
Mhm.
that is an affecting a higher majority than
Yeah.
something that has so much awareness. There's nowhere you can really go and not say cystic fibrosis and someone hasn't at least heard of
Heard of
it.
yeah. Hmm.
And not just heard of it, but having heard of it with the understanding that it's serious.
Yeah.
Not like, oh, okay, is that like asthma? No, they know
Yeah.
it's serious. They know it's life-threatening.
Yeah.
And there's a casualness that's been put around sickle cell,
Hmm.
something that we're just supposed to accept happens to people of color and kills them.
Yeah.
You know, sickle cell can be so serious that babies have strokes and die.
Yeah.
Anything that's to do with your blood is
Hmm.
definitely serious, and there's a lot of discussion of it being needing to be taken as serious as something like leukemia, which is another blood disorder, but
Yeah.
because it's a cancer, it has so much research, so
Hmm.
much awareness, so much innovation into it. and
Yeah.
and actually a lot of the research that I know has come out of sickle cell has been like a hand me down from leukemia.
Yeah.
What we both experienced in order to maintain our good health is called
Yeah.
a red cell exchange.
Hmm.
And that is a machine that they use for treatments for people who are suffering with leukemia
Yeah.
and other blood disorders like that. So
It's not
before
like
that, before that, we were, if you got to a point where your sickle cell was killing you, the
yeah.
next option was a full blood transfusion. And it wasn't something that you did lightly because there's
Hmm.
so many risks on taking the full blood of one person and putting it into another person. Because you've got to have certain levels of iron, you've got to have
Yeah.
certain levels of calcium, you've got to have all these other things to be just right. And if it's
Yeah.
not, it can cause other issues. And that
Yeah.
was the gamble sicklers were having to take all the time in their lives.
Yeah.
Red cell exchanges aren't that old. They're very new.
Yeah. It's very. Listen, I've only found out about it in the past year, and that
Not
was
a lot of hospitals
actually
have
no.
the
I found out about
capabilities
it
to do
from
it.
you. Yeah.
Yeah,
When I heard about you, I was like, I've never heard about this.
yeah.
Like, so it's pretty pretty new, and I don't know, there just needs to be a lot of research pumped into this, especially in healthcare. Like the people
Yes.
that are giving us, the nurses, doctors, they need to know about it.
There's no way you should be doing a rotation on A&E and not know about something that affects
Yeah.
so many of the population and is going to bring them into A&E. You're going to be the first point of call. You should know how serious this is,
Yeah.
especially if it's not treated and tended to properly, because it can kill and it
Yeah.
can be sudden. Everyone's different in the way it works, but
Hmm.
some people's crises happen with a quickness
Hmm.
where I've child, child of God, I've experienced it. I find one moment, keep kid looking cute, feeling good, looking better. So you know I'm crippled over, I'm crumpled, oh no, God, what is this? Next thing you know, the pain just getting up a notch, up a notch. Your
Listen,
10 becomes a 5, your 5 becomes it's just all
one minute, 1 minute.
I've been praying. I prayed to be knocked out. I said, God, please let the pain pass me out. God, please let the pain pass me
Listen,
out. And I'm still woke.
when you pray that prayer to be knocked out, you
Oh, it's
know
real.
it's
Oh, it's real.
real.
So, oh God, knock me out. I will never ask it again. Ah,
Listen.
God in heaven. But it shouldn't have to get to that point. Obviously, we're joking and making light, but it should
But it's
never
serious.
have to get to that point. We should never feel like we have to exaggerate our pain. We should
Yeah,
never feel like we have to manipulate the system to get the care that is afforded to people that don't have our skin.
exactly.
Point blank, period. That
Period.
place, the hospital, should be the one place you should know for sure you are
Yeah.
going to get equal treatment. Because
Hmm.
like the people who always claim to be anti-racist say, we're all the same on the inside. So if my insides is hurting,
Uh,
just the same as Becky's insides is hurting, I'm gonna need
yeah.
you to give me the same treatment that Becky's getting because she has a
Period.
migraine. Okay?
Yeah.
She
Hmm.
has a migraine and my body's shutting down. Okay? So
Exactly.
I'm gonna need you to give me some of what Becky's getting. Okay?
The same treatment all round. Let's, you know,
Yes.
yeah, just to add on that, like the last time I was admitted, this is how I know it's about skin color. I had a black nurse. She was like, and the only reason she gave me intravenous morphine because I've always been told that, oh, you can't have it. We don't give it here. She gave it to me.
Hmm.
She was like, I know how serious this is, and if you need anything, let me know. If you're in pain, let me know. Don't reject the morphine because you know sometimes you're like, no, I'm good, I'm good. She's like, no, let me know. Even if you need it in
Yes.
half an hour, let me know. That's
And
what we
that's
need.
that's the difference that knowledge makes. My experience